Hi everybody, this is Algebra 2, Lesson 85, and this lesson covers systems of nonlinear equations. Alright, so a nonlinear system of equations is a system in which at least one of the equations is a nonlinear equation. So if we look over here, we've got an example of that. And remember that when we solve a system of equations, we've got two equations mapped on the same grid, and we're trying to find out where they have common points, so where they touch. So right here, we've got 2x minus y plus 3 equals 3, once that's supposed to be equals 3, is this straight line. That's a linear equation. That makes that line. Then we've got x squared plus y squared equals 9, and that's this circle. And the places where they touch are 0, 3, and 12 over 5, 9 over 5. All right, so to solve those, here is that system of linear equations, and we're going to try to solve that. First thing I'm going to do is rearrange this bottom equation, right, so that I have y by itself right here. That way I can use substitution to solve this. So I'm going to start by rearranging that. So I've got 2x minus y equals 3. If I do minus 2x on both sides, I'm going to get negative y equals negative 2x plus 3, and then just multiply the whole thing times negative 1. I would get y equals 2x minus 3. Alright, so I'm going to write my new equation up here at the top, so we don't forget it. Y equals 2x minus 3. Alright, and I can't use this, so now I have a value for y, but I can't use it right here because I don't have y in this other equation. I have y squared. So all I have to do is square this whole thing. So if I square that and I square this part, right, then I'll have y squared, and I can set that in. So to square this side, I'm going to have y squared equals, and then I have to square this other side, which is 2x minus 3. And to square that, I just have to multiply it times itself. And I would just rainbow that. So I would end up with 4x squared. And then I would do 2 times 3, that'd be negative 6x. And then multiply there to get another negative 6x, and then negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. So I'm going to put that together. I'm going to have 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Right, so that's the value of y squared. Now all I have to do is substitute that into my other equation right here where I got y squared. So 2x plus, now I've got my y squared, which is this value right here, 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 9. Okay, now I can combine like terms. Whoops, that wouldn't be 2x squared, that's just x squared. There we go. X squared, that's right here. Okay, x squared. So I would have 5x squared minus 12x, and now if I do minus 9, I would end up with equals 0. See how those cancel off. Alright, so then I can pull this x out. X times 5x minus 12 equals 0. And then I get x equals 0 and 5x minus 12 equals 0. And to fix this one, we would do plus 12 and plus 12. And we're going to get 5x equals 12. And then we just divide by 5. and we would get x equals 12 over 5. So those are two of our x values. X equals 0 and x equals 12 over 5. Now remember, we're trying to get 2 points. Those are just our x values. We still need our y values. So we're just going to substitute these back in, these new values for x that we found. And that'll get us our y values. So let me erase all this. The easiest one to substitute it in is going to be the linear equation, not the circle, because we don't want to deal with any of those squared terms. So we're going to take our linear equation and say 2. Actually, I'm going to use the one that I rearranged right here. So this equation right here, y equals 2 times x, which this first one is 0, okay, minus 3. That would just be 0. Y equals negative 3. So for that one, it's negative 3, and I have to make sure I keep those together. So my first point is 0, negative 3. Okay, now I'm going to substitute in 12 over 5. So y equals 2 times, times 12 over 5 minus 3. That would be 24 over 5 minus 3. If I turn this 3 into fifths, that would be 3 times 5 is 15. 24 minus 15 is going to be y equals 9 over 5. So that would be 9 over 5 right there. So our other point would be 12 over 5, 9 over 5. And if we look back at this graph, we'll see that that is what it is on the graph. So here's our 12 over 5, 9 over 5, and down at the bottom, that bottom point is 0, negative 3. And that's what I've got here, 0, negative 3, 12 over 5, 9 over 5. All right, this one's a different type of equation. This one, it's the key to these is to recognize that you've got two variables, b and then td. Okay, so we're just going to add these two together. It's already set up to where these two are going to cancel. So I have b times td equals 25, 35, 40. That'll be 2btd because I added btd. One of them, see there's one right there and one right there, makes 2. Now I divide by 2, and I get b times td equals 20. Okay, so now I'm just going to sub this value back in for that, for btd. So that would be 20 equals 5td. No, not equals, plus 5td equals 25. Now we're going to do minus 20, and we get 5td equals 5. That means that td is going to be equal to 1. Okay, now I have to solve for b. And all we have to do is sub in 1 for our td value. Right there. Right? So basically we could just cut those out. So b times 1 would just be b. Right? Plus 5 times 1. So this part is a 1. And that's times 1. 5 times 1 is just 5. So that equals 25. So if we subtract 5 on both sides, we're going to get b equals 20. Super easy. All right, go ahead and pause the video and work the practice problems, and then I'll work them for you. Okay, so this first one is like that second example that we did. we're going to have a value for b and a value for TD. That's what we're solving for. All right, so we're going to add these together. These are going to cancel, and we're going to get BTD equals 6 and 8 is 14, carry the 1, 3, 4, 5, 54. Oh, that's 2 BTD. Now we divide by 2. Half of 50 is 25, 27. All right, now I'm going to sub that value into one of these equations where I see BTD. So that would be like right here. So instead of BTD, I'm going to write 27. Actually, let me give myself some more room here. I'm going to write 27 plus 9TD equals 36 minus 27. And I get 9TD equals 9. And then divide by 9. And we're going to get TD equals 1. So that equals 1. And then we just sub that 1 back in to get the value for B. So if we put that in here and we said this was all 1, B times 1 is B. And right here, that was all 1. 9 times 1 is 9 equals 36. Now we subtract 9. And we're going to get B equals 16 minus 9 would be 7, 27. B equals 27 and TD equals 9 is the answer to that one. TD equals 1. B equals 27. All right, next one. Oh, stop doing that. Go. Okay. This one, we're going to rearrange this problem to get y equals, if it's 2x minus y, oh, that didn't write very well, 2x minus y equals 5. We're going to do minus 2x, and we're going to get negative y equals negative 2x plus 5, and then we just change the sign, and it'll turn into y equals 2x minus 5. Get rid of all that. Okay. Now we have to square both of these, so we want y squared. That means we have to square the other side, so 2x minus 5 squared, so times 2x minus 5. 2 times 2 is 4x squared. And then 2 times 5, that would be negative 10x. And then right there would be another negative 10x. And there we would have positive 25. And then we're going to have 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. So x squared equals 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. Now we're just going to substitute that value for y squared into the other equation, into that top nonlinear part of the equation. All right, so we're going to be subbing it in right there. So we're going to write that equation, x squared plus, now we sub 4x squared minus 20x plus 25 equals 25. We're going to put these like terms together, so we get 5x squared, and then we're going to subtract 25 from both sides. So we can bring down this minus 20x equals, that would come out to 0. All right, now we're going to pull the x out of both of these terms, factor it out. So our first x equals 0. And then we've got 5x minus 20 also equals 0. So that means 5x equals 20. And divide by 5. 5 times 4 is 20, so x equals 4. So there's our x values. Let's erase all this. Give us some room. Now we're going to have to plug those x values back into the equation to find our y values. Remember, we're looking for 2 points. We have the beginning of those 2 points. We just have to get the y's. I'm going to plug them back into that modified form of equation 2. So y equals 2x minus 5. The first x is 0, so y equals 2 times 0 minus 5. That's just going to be negative 5, so y equals negative 5. And I have to make sure I put those two together. So I would have 0, negative 5. Now I'm going to plug in my 4, so y equals 2 times 4 minus 5. That'll be 8. 8 minus 5 will be y equals negative 3. No, that'll be positive 3. Yeah. I don't know why I thought negative. I was thinking 5 minus 8, but it's 8 minus 5, which would be 3. So y equals 3. So this second point would be 4, 3. And that's the answer to that one. All right, that's all for lesson 85.